The countdown to the Super Bowl continues live from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, where it is another gorgeous morning. It is hump day as we head into a gorgeous Wednesday here on the set of the Marriott Marina Del Rey, one of the most gorgeous places on all of the earth. Hello, once again, everybody. Welcome into the Early Edge, your daily sports betting brand of record. I, of course, am the coach. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports, and it's not close. Quickly, a little housekeeping here at the top of the show. Yesterday, not a bad day on the show. Straight 5-3 in our straight picks. Marquette, they were looking really good for most of the day. The Celtics jumped out to a 28-2 lead. That was nice. And we go 1-1 with our underdog picks as well. The rest of the week, we have got you covered top to bottom here at the Early Edge. Every single morning, we're here at 11 a.m. Today's a little bit later than that. Don't forget Thursday, our final Super Bowl mega preview at 6:30 Eastern time. Then Sunday, we're here all day long. Our morning show, then our final preview for 2 hours, and then the first ever Early Edge watch party. We will cash tickets in real time throughout the game. All right, so we've got a packed show, and we don't have a lot of time to do it. So let me introduce the man who's sitting next to me right now. He's been here since day one. He is the maestro, Larry Hartstein. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. You know, you and me have some unfinished business later today. It's going to play out on social media. Follow SportsLine. But we've got a special guest, so let's get right to it.
Yeah, we're very, very excited to welcome Craig Mucklow, the VP of Trading for Caesars Sportsbook. And, Craig, we got to jump right into it because the numbers right now are -4 and 48.5, 5 days until the game. Are you surprised that the numbers have really kind of stuck strong to where they started?
Not really surprised. We have bounced around from 4 to 4.5 numerous times. I think I changed my shirt more times this morning and we've changed to 4.5. So it's getting a bit more stable.
And, Craig, where do you see this line closing? Do you think we'll be in 4 and 4.5? And who do you think you're going to be rooting for come Sunday evening?
It will probably close 4.5, I'm guessing. Right now, we need the Rams not to cover. If the Rams cover and it goes over, we'll be happy as of today. The Bengals is the most popular right now for the sports bettors.
See, Craig, I knew that we were kindred spirits. I knew that you guys needed the Bengals to win and cover. We got that. But here at the Early Edge, we've got a showdown with me and Mary. It's the first play of the game. And we've seen that bettors really want to get off to a fast start. What are some of the bets right at the beginning of the game that bettors are really starting to jump on?
The bettors love Joe Mixon to receive the first Bengals pass. The opening kickoff not to be a touchback. And if we get tails as the coin toss, then we'll be crying into our pizza slices pretty early on.
Hey, Craig, I want to ask you about the opening kickoff because 16 of the last 18 have not been a touchback, yet you opened that at plus money, and we all heard Pat McAfee talk about how that football is a brick. Are you kind of regretting that opening number?
We will Sunday night by the looks of things.
Well, Greg, when we look at some of the different odds, there sometimes tends to be an overreaction. Perhaps the overtime odd was at plus 1,100, now has gone down to plus 750 because of all these late game heroics and the games that are ending on field goals game after game after game. Are you surprised that the number is coming down to something that is really kind of hard to predict?
Statistically, it was the correct number to begin with, but money moves numbers and markets, and we react to the market and the weight of the money, and it's very, very popular. And of course, it's fresh in everybody's mind. There's been a couple of overtime games in the playoffs. It'll be one we won't be cheering for, that's for sure. We won a great game. Overtime could be painful.
And Craig, what are the biggest bets you've taken so far, and how many high six figures and even seven-figure bets do you expect this weekend?
We've taken quite a few already. There's obviously the $4.5 million on the Bengals money line outright. There's a $1.5 million on the Rams -4, hence our position as of today. We also took a 5-figure bet on Jamar Chase's under receptions. that is the classic Sharps versus the rest of the world. That everybody loves Jamar Chase, and why not? He's a stud. So the world are betting the over, the Sharps are betting the under. We'll see who's correct come Sunday night. We're just praying for a great game because we've had 6 consecutive brilliant games in the playoffs. That would drive interest as well for everybody and make everybody happy.
Craig, I was unaware that you were allowed to take the Maestro's bets at $1.5 million. I know he was looking to place that in a lot of different places throughout this week. When you hear the term biggest surprise, and that's coupled with the big men up front, has there been a bet that you've seen you're like, why are people so interested in the offensive line, perhaps?
Our trading team got really creative this week, but this one actually came from one of our bosses who wanted the fridge special. So everybody loves the big man touchdowns. It's entertaining. Being a Dolphins fan, watching Wilkins catch the touchdown and do the worm and then jump into the stands, it's a great fun to see. So we have seen tremendous interest in the big man touchdowns. A defensive rostered player to score an offensive touchdown, or an offensive lineman to score a touchdown, which, if we pay out on that one, brilliant, because the entertainment thereafter on the touchdown shuffle will be amazing.
And Craig, I got to ask you about the kicker, Evan McPherson, because you're telling us that everyone is piling on this guy, and yet it's still only minus 130 to go over 1.5 field goals when he's had 4, 4, and 4. And I'm on that train too. Am I a sucker? Is there a reason you're not going to minus 150 or minus 160 on Evan McPherson?
We're still waiting for your 1.5 million, Larry, on that market, and then we'll probably move it. But Evan Money McPherson, we call him in this room. Another one that everybody likes. It's not up the volume at where we would move a number yet. All the Sharps have played it enough, but it's definitely on our radar, and it'll probably move come kickoff. That's for sure.
Well, Craig, we certainly appreciate the time. We know you're crazy busy. As you said, you've got 8-10 shirts in the closet you got to change into the course of the next 3 or 4 days. Thank you for your time, and best of luck this Sunday, okay?
Play.
That is Craig Mucklow, the VP of Trading for Caesars Sportsbook. Some of the top props by handle you can see right now, and the OBJ train continues to be rolling for the first touchdown scorer. There you see Evan McPherson, some alternate totals, the coin toss, the MVP. Joe Burrow is the favorite as far as bettors are concerned to win that. All right, let's move on, because you know I've got waiting in the wings some of the best cappers in all of the land. My entire Early Edge crew is locked and loaded and ready to go. So let's bring them in right now here on CBS Sports HQ across all of our digital platforms. First and foremost, very, very quickly, live from Nashville, Tennessee, M Squared. Good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, fellas. Allie, nice to see you guys here. Love that interview you guys just did. That was great, very insightful, very interesting. Like Maestro said, hasn't moved the Evan McPherson prop yet. I bet we get that done by the weekend.
Well, I can't wait to talk about that in our full preview on Thursday right here with, of course, Mikey. You'll be a big part of that. Live from Las Vegas, he is Zach Attack. Last night, Purdue. My goodness, you were right on that, Zach. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I had 2 home teams that completed their season sweep ATS-wise, and I'm going to go right back to that theme, but I'm going with 2 road teams today.
And finally, first time on CBS Sports HQ, but it will not be her last. Thrilled to welcome in the Ice Queen, Alabama. Allie, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm super happy to be here today.
She is super happy to be here today. And Allie, we're super happy to have you as well. All right, we're not going to do storylines today because we just got a bunch from Craig, and we're thrilled that he took the time. So we're going to get right into our board this morning and do it a little bit differently. But, Mike, you know when you're going to start. You know I'm feeling good. It's gorgeous out here. The wind's blowing just a little bit. I'm up on the Maestro. So, M Squared, you know the drill, son. Give it to me.
All right, Coach. Start with 2 college basketball games. Tennessee -1 on the road against Mississippi State. This is a unique spot here because it's created some value in the market. Mississippi State has been one of the best, if not the best, home team in college basketball. However, I think that they have a slight disadvantage here in this matchup against Tennessee. This Tennessee team has covered in these type of games. When you look at games when the spread is -3.5 to 1 point, they've won both of those tight games. While Mississippi State, when they've been underdogs this season, they're just 1-4 against the spread. My simulation number here is all the way up to -5.4. I think Tennessee has the better athletes. I think that they ultimately get this one done. I would play it all the way up to -2 if I had to, as I know this one's on the move this morning. And then my second game, Houston, going right back to the Cougars here, -7. This is a tougher matchup for them. I will say that against SMU. It's not a tough road condition in terms of the environment, in terms of the travel situation for them, but it is a road game. However, my simulations still make them -11. They're a top 5 defense in the country here, and I give them the rebounding edge and the coaching edge in this matchup. Look for them to grab another double-digit win at SMU.
Yeah, Mikey, they've been very, very quick starters, too. We just cashed them a few days ago, and they jumped out to a very, very quick double-digit lead and never looked back. We assume the same thing will happen tonight. All right, love those two picks. All right, up next, we're also staying in the world of college basketball. Let's go back to Las Vegas. Zach, what do you have for us today?
We'll start off in the Horizon League, Coach, with Oakland -3 against Youngstown State. This is the third straight road game for Oakland. They're coming off consecutive losses, so that's why this number is small. But they were in an uncontrollable schedule scenario in those two games. They played a makeup game against Northern Kentucky on Friday, then had to travel to Wright State Saturday. You usually don't see that. That is not the norm. In the prior week, they had a couple of cancellations. So I think they're going to be back into their rhythm tonight, led by guard Jalen Moore, who is second in the country with 8 assists per game, and he had 13 in their double-digit win against Youngstown State earlier this year. And then Missouri State +3 against Drake. Drake has dominated this series. Prior to this year, they won 8 of 10, including all 3 last year. But to me, Missouri State has been the better talented team. They just could not get it done from an X's and O's standpoint. They did beat Drake this year, and like I said, I'm going with that road theme. I'm going to take Missouri State +3.
I got to tell you, I'm loving those plays. I love when you dig deep into conferences that maybe not a lot of people know about. Now, we have a brand new audience this week here on CBS Sports HQ, and you may not know about this next young lady, but I encourage you to follow her on social media because she is an absolute beast when it comes to hockey. Alabama, for the first time, the floor is yours.
All right, so today I'm going to take the Philadelphia Flyers on the money line at -105 versus the Detroit Red Wings. It is a little scary betting on the Flyers considering they just ended a long 13-game losing streak, but they did win the last 2 games before the All-Star break, so I do think that puts them in a really good position, especially against a team like the Red Wings, who has lost to Philadelphia the last 5 times that they've played each other. And you also have Carter Hart starting for the Flyers. He started both of those wins before the break. Detroit, they're only scoring an average of 2.29 goals per game on the road. So even if Hart slips up, I think the Flyers offense will do their best to compensate with goals. And it helps that Detroit is 2-6-2 in their last 10 road games with Alex Nedeljkovic as a starter. I do think that the Flyers are really motivated to win and come out and play hard just because they have a lot to prove coming off that losing streak. So I think we'll see a really good game tonight.
I think we're going to see a great game today. By the way, you see that number -105. Pounce on it right now because when Allie gives out a play, it moves immediately. All right, we've got another play, this one from SportsLine. By the way, if you're not a SportsLine member yet, we had our biggest day to date yesterday. So thank you to all of you who signed up to be a part of us, be a part of the community, be a part of the crew. So today we're going to go Predators and Stars. We're going to go Stars on the money line -120. This is an 8 p.m. start. Nashville 4-1 in the last 5 despite being outshot in all of them. That is a huge red flag for us. The Stars are playing really good hockey. We're only laying 20 cents. So we love Dallas tonight, courtesy of SportsLine. All right, when we get to the final spot on our show, there is only one man, there's only one name that gets to sit in that seat. So, Maestro, you are up, sir.
All right, well, we are here for the big game on Sunday, and I don't think you're going to like this pick, and I think we might have a showdown coming. But this Cinderella story is ending this Sunday. I mean, it's been amazing. They're +5 in turnover margin. I'm talking about the Cincinnati Bengals in the playoffs. They've tipped 6 passes and intercepted 3 of them. They've had many, many long third down scrambles that Joe Burrow has somehow escaped the sacks and gotten free. But at some point, that is not going to keep happening. You look at the pressure rate that the Bengals have given up, 36% pressure rate in the postseason against pass rushes that are not close to as good as the one that he's going to face. And here's maybe the biggest key that's not being talked about. The Rams play the second most zone coverage in the league, 78% of the time. Joe Burrow destroys man coverage. Against zone, he's solid. He's just mortal, though. And I think this is where it ends. I'm going to lay the 4 with the Rams, and I think you're going to have another showdown on your hands.
Well, speaking of the word mortal, you are also mortal, even though a lot of people in this space think that you are not. I'm going to sit on that for a second, but we still have a couple more shows to get to before Sunday, so you're probably right. All right, we are up against it. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here is the recap, and it looks absolutely glorious. M Squared's on 2 plays today. Tennessee -1 and Houston -7. Then Zach Attack, he's on Oakland -3 over Youngstown State and Missouri State +3 over Drake. Then the Ice Queen, Alabama, she's on the Flyers on the money line -110 over the Red Wings. 7 Eastern, they dropped the puck there. Then 1 play from SportsLine. We're going to go with the Dallas Stars on the money line over the Nashville Predators. Then the Maestro, 1 play today. He's on the Rams -4 in the big game on Sunday. Then the gem today. Oh, it's very, very tasty, courtesy of the jeweler. Tottenham on the money line, Flyers on the money line, Stars on the money line. By the way, that Tottenham game, that is courtesy of our man Buckets, who's just been doing work. Follow him on social media. He's got several more plays today at his Twitter handle. All right, don't forget, every single day this week at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we have you covered. Everybody is on deck from CBS Sports HQ. We've got best bets, props, DFS advice, all the futures you could want every single night this week at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow on Thursday, and, of course, our big Super Bowl mega preview on Thursday afternoon. Those are your marching orders. Best of luck. Have a good day.
All right, let's flap through these early birds for you. Baylor taking on K-State. Number 10, Baylor coming off that loss to Kansas. But, hey, K-State, they won 2 straight. Playing this one, the big Baylor at -6. Here's one for you. High Point taking on Presbyterian. The Panthers a slight underdog at 2.5, trying to stop a 6-game road losing streak when it comes